Hello again. The Indian government is reportedly threatening to jail employees of Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp. New Delhi and the tech giants have clashed over sharing data and removing information linked to mass protests by farmers who are rallying against agricultural reforms. The tech companies say they will abide by international law and the principles of an open internet and have called India's requests concerning. Specific employees in the country are allegedly at risk of arrest if the firms don't comply with the state's request. Now, India has been developing new guidelines for social media companies to fight unlawful or violent content and misinformation. The firms will be required to remove questionable content and even track down the originator of messages. Let's cross live now to Yair Cohen, internet law expert and friend of the program. Good to see you, Yair. Are the Indian requests to the tech giants justified?
Indeed. Look, I don't know the ins and outs of this particular protest in India, but the reality is this. India is the largest democracy in the world. It has a lively and democratic system. It has got courts, it's got television, it's got free speech. And if the Indian government says to Facebook and Twitter that they have to remove certain content because this content is unlawful, then the social media giants should comply. If they don't like the request, they can go to the local courts and apply to the local courts to change the decision. The reality is that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, they are not above the law. They are not above any law of any country. And they should obey by the rules of each and every country where they choose to operate. Otherwise, they have a choice. They don't have to operate in a particular country if they don't like the rules.
You've got companies like you've just gone through there. The majority of them take down content pretty easily, tend to anyway, in the United States, normally without a fight, but are now apparently rejecting India's request. Why that kind of divergence? Not exact same scenarios we're talking about. Why do you think there is a difference that exists, though?
This is very strange because in the US, for example, the very same companies are taking off lawful content. So free speech is not allowed in many instances on their platform. And then you look at a country like India, unlawful speech is allowed. You know, they try to encourage publication of unlawful speech. So this is clearly not about democracy. This is not about Facebook and Twitter try to promote democracy. What they are fighting over is who should be the main censor, who should be in charge of what people are going to listen, what people are going to hear. This is nothing but an attempt to take control over social media and over what people hear, what information people are exposed to, which is of course ridiculous. We can see it's not about free speech. If it was about free speech, you wouldn't have had so many people being banned in America for lawful speech.
The one worrying aspect, though, just on the face of it, do individuals hold responsibility for what their employers make them do? You're talking about jail term here by the Indian government if the organisations in questions don't go the way of what New Delhi want them to do?
Ultimately, people have to comply with court orders. We cannot encourage a situation of anarchy. And what seems to be the case is that those companies are trying to encourage lawlessness. They try to create chaos whenever they go. And Facebook cannot say, look, we are an American company. We're not going to comply with a court order of the Indian court. Somebody has to take responsibility. And I think that if the decision by the government of India that employees will be held responsible for failure by their own company to take content down, then that should be respected unless a local court says otherwise.
Well, it's definitely a story with big ramifications, whichever way it goes. Indeed. We'll be closely following it, Geir, won't we? Geir Cohen, internet law expert, live on RT International.